Hey, what is up guys, Control here, and today's video is going to be on a new Dragon Combo Priest deck. Specifically one that features a card from Wing 2 of the Galakrond's Awakening Adventure, Cleric of Scales. Now this little 1/1, a lot of people will jump out right away and say, holy, this is broken. If it's just like Shadow Visions, this card must be absolutely insane and Combo Priest has to be broken now. Well, unfortunately it's not exactly like Shadow Visions. The card does in fact discover a card in your deck, but it draws the card from your deck, unlike Shadow Visions, which reads discover a copy of a card from your deck. That being said, the card's still really good, and you know, we played like 10 games or so with different versions of Combo Priest. I'm just showing the one we ended on, but we were messing around with different versions of the dragons, and honestly, the card was really good. Combo Priest is just a deck where you are going to need specific cards at specific times, and having the ability to have not just 2 cards being Shadow Visions, but 4 cards in your deck being 2 Clerics and 2 Shadow Visions, to get whatever specific card you need to be able to win the game with is absolutely amazing. Now, the only problem that arises then is exactly how many spells you want to run, what minions you want to use, and that's kind of why we were changing the list so much, is because I think tinkering with that is kind of important. You know, initially we didn't want to run Silence, but then we realized, Silence is really good. You know, I don't even know if you want Breath of the Infinite, even if you're playing dragons, to be honest. I mean, in your non-aggro matchups, the card really is just quite bad, and it could be replaced with something like Velen's Chosen, which could help a lot in slower matchups. You know, then comes the question of exactly how many dragons you want. We kind of settled on 9. I wanted to try out Cobalt Spellkin because, well, 1 mana spells are actually pretty good in Combo Priest. You know, you can get Power Word or another Inner Fire sometimes. So overall, Cleric of Scales is definitely good. It makes the cut if you're playing Dragon Combo Priest for sure. But it's just kind of difficult figuring out how to like build the deck correctly. Because based on playing it, even though the regular non-dragon version of Combo Priest does not have Cleric of Scales, the version we were playing a couple days ago, like the Gilblin Stalker and like the Dark Prophecy, actually felt a little bit better to play. And I think that might just be because a lot of cards that you would want from Dragon Combo Priest, think like Duskbreaker and like Drakonid Operative, have kind of been power creeped a little bit. And in a lot of matchups, those cards just don't really shine as much as, you know, something like High Priest of Matt would that would just let you pop off and win. So overall, I'd say the deck is decent. You could definitely hit Legend with it, but I think that for Dragon Combo Priest to be better than the, you know, regular non-dragon version of the deck, we're going to need some more powerful dragons that are lower in cost and more impactful for this type of an archetype. Overall, though, still a really good deck, and one that could definitely be messed with a little bit more and built better than the one I have right now. But still a decent deck. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like if you do, and let me know what deck you want to see next in the comment section below. Have a great day, guys. Okay, so we get a Warlock with double Whelp, Witch Doctor, and a Cleric. We'd probably just keep the dragons so we have a Discover. Double Cleric, interesting. So one thing about this deck is we don't have any Circles of Healings or Holy Ripples, so Northshire Cleric's not actually that insane. And I think with this version, we're trying to be, I wouldn't say more of like an anti-aggro kind of Combo Priest deck, but with the Duskbreaker, Breath of the Infinite, and then 2 cards to tutor the Breath of the Infinite, it's kind of what we are, more so than like a control killer like Combo Priest normally would be. Once upon a time, I was fairly good at Hearthstone. Now I'm washed up and I make videos because I think it's more fun to make videos than to try to be competitive in this game. And I am having fun playing Legends of Runeterra. And Hearthstone. I'm fun playing both. I like making content, so I'm actually enjoying being able to do that for 2 games at once. It's kind of interesting. It's my TED Talk. I like to lift weights and watch anime and read books. I don't know if we really want to just trade and then like play Cleric and Hero Power. I feel like it's kind of okay. If he plays this board, I'm kind of fine, right? Like, it's not great, but we take these, I think. Okay, Operative and a Witch Doctor is decent. Yep, got rank 1 a bunch of times. Did okay at playoffs for Hearthstone. Favorite anime? I got a My Anime list right here. I haven't updated it in about a year, but I'd say manga-wise, Attack on Titan is probably my favorite, and Vinland Saga is probably my favorite show that I've watched recently. So we can discover a spell or develop the Radiant. I think that the Radiant, on average, is just going to be better, so I prefer to go, like, I think even, like, Whelp into Radiant, just to have 2 minions. It seems weird because then you don't have a dragon for the Operative, but the thing is, like, you don't actually really need or even want most of the cards in their deck. If he's playing Q-Block, like, what am I going to get from his list that's going to be great for us, really? There's basically zero synergy between the two decks here. So let's go Witch Doctor. We can play one and still Breath of the Infinite as a possible play. Could take Plague, but that's way too slow. So we're going to go Mind Blast here. And then just go Breath of the Infinite, trade our 2-3 off and go face for 2 here. Mind Blast is definitely not the best pick in the world, and those spells are kind of whack. But it's still okay. Still something, you know. 2-2 like draw a card. You are right, I do never post anything on Instagram. I don't really do anything super noteworthy, to be honest. So Shadow Visions, it's still not going to be that good because even if we get Divine Spirit, I mean, it's not like we're going to have the big minion that we want here. So if that's the case, we could either go Witch Doctor, look for something that could help us get there with the big minion, or we could just play Operative as a 5-6. I think I prefer to actually go Witch Doctor first here. Inner Fire, again, is not really that great, but we're still going to probably pick it here, I think. Then probably just Visions. It's going to be the Power Word, I think. Get the draw. Cleric is nice. Yeah, not bad. New card did something. It's important to note that the new card does not work in the same way that Shadow Visions works, because the new card Cleric of Scales actually draws the dragon from your deck. Like, you discover a spell from your deck. It doesn't read the same way that Shadow Visions does, where it's like discover a copy of a spell in your deck. It's not a copy, it's the actual unit. Trade, Plague of Flames into Control Cries. Maybe Cube first. Wouldn't be that good though. So just a Cube. Hello, Void Lord. Pretty average. So trade, we Duskbreaker. This has 4 health. We Hero Power it. That is probably just the play, unfortunately. Okay, well, our card's not dead. And, well, we're not going to have lethal next turn, but we technically have lethal on board. I think in most cases we should expect like a Cobalt Librarian trade Defile type of play here. And the result ending up being a clear board here, but... Oh. I mean, okay. That is significantly better for us, believe it or not. Is Operative here? Yoink something real quick. Tal'Daram, or I think I prefer Tal'Daram, to be honest. We don't really have anything that we'd like to cube, right? Like an Operative's nice, but that's just not what we're trying to do here. The Egg's kind of interesting too, but I think it's just Tal'Daram. The reason the Egg's interesting is that we can play it here, and that it is something to buff with Inner Fire, so we get guaranteed damage. But I think if he just plays like a Doomguard or something, or maybe like a 9-drop, I'd rather just copy it. Seems better. You don't see Brotherhood? Brotherhood should be on there. Brotherhood I should have as a 10. Okay, so we face this as our Operative. And it's lethal. Bang bang. GG. And that's what happens when Warlock does not draw a Plague of Flames. So Cleric of Scales, this game is actually really useful because we wouldn't have actually had the Divine Spirit without that. So, sweet, new card actually did something, nice. And hey, a Rag side down. Guy, Druid. So Cleric, Historian. Kind of an interesting hand, because you usually want to keep Power Word, but... I mean, if we have Historian, we also want a Dragon. Cleric, honestly, on turn 1, is not that great against Druid, because they're not really going to be playing things for a while, so I might actually just mulligan like this. And of course, he's going to be like an Ambiguous Druid or something, but, you know, the average Druid that you're going to queue into right now is going to be slow. And into slow Druids, you don't want Cleric because they don't play anything until Oaken Summons, and your Cleric's not going to value trade into anything involving Oaken Summons, and the entire reason you play Cleric on turn 1 is because she trades well into 1/1s and 2/1s, and then you get a draw. with the hero power. But if they're not developing anything, then you don't get a draw. So it's kind of a weird one where, you know, throwing the Cleric away actually makes sense. And then, of course, he's playing Aggro Druid, and everything I just talked about is completely irrelevant. GG, I love Hearthstone. So we're going to play Radiant Elemental. He will play a AoE buff next round and value trade the Radiant. Or just hero power it, but I mean, regardless, the card's doing its job. Single target buff, close enough. Breath of the Infinite, please. Yeah, that's kind of nice. So we should go Witch Doctor and look for a spell that does something. Excavated Evil definitely does do something. It's a little bit slow, though. That being said, I think we're fine. Okay, maybe not super fine anymore. I think trading that makes sense, yeah. Let's go for the Historians. We draw. So do we want 7 mana single target, or do we want 8 mana deal damage to 2 minions? I feel like I'd rather have Tyrant than Crowd Roaster. So that goes wide, right? They don't go tall. With the exception of a Raven. Power Word over the hero power. And I think we're good on the Cleric. We don't really want to play that. I also don't think we need to Interfire here. If we don't clear this next round, I don't really care that much. Because I'm the Twilight Guardian, I'll do well into it. Whereas if I play Interfire here, he's just going to trade 2 in and... Okay, GG, we're dead. Or not dead. Close to dead, though. Winnable. The Unexpected Excavated Evil. Gets him. That's the beauty of discovering cards, man, is like you can't really play around everything, unfortunately. You know, you can talk specifics, you know, think about what you think is good and all that kind of stuff, but you can't play around everything when you're discovering things. We could Breath of the Infinite. I think that the Guardian into a Divine Spirit is going to be a lot stronger, though. Definitely a good way for us to stabilize here. Pretty average pan out. Jeeves is really good. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Okay. That's kind of nuts, actually. Holy shit. That's double and big in with Jeeves. He's going to have 4 cards from his deck that are huge.
Is someone injured?
Definitely need to stop the card draw from popping off. He can't play everything, right? Because even his 1 mana cards are now 3, but still, I think we want to just stop the card draw before it kind of starts, sir. Kind of a good turn for him. So we could discover Silence. I don't think Twin Tyrant's going to do enough here. I feel like discovering Silence is probably just a move. Can draw first, technically. Shadow Visions is good, okay. Should have actually probably played the Shadow Visions first. So we could actually maybe say that we just misplayed, admit it, and then go like double Shadow Visions and try to get 2 Silences here. Because again, this is the only one in our deck, so... We do guarantee that we get it here, and then we can still go Visions into like Divine Spirit. Just probably better anyways. Yeah. I should have played the Shadow Visions first every time though, for sure. Okay. Silence the 7/7. I'm actually happier to trade as well, just so he doesn't get value from AoE buffs. We know the big and Aggro Druid deck is not going to be running Silences, so... It's one of the matchups where I feel confident, and I don't really feel like we need to go in super fast.
Behold, jewels of the sound.
Or a dragon's enough to have one in your hand reliably. Not always. Not always, my friends. Custom Merchant's kinda cool. I think we just go Operative and then Frizz and Face. We don't need to trade that, I don't think. Holy, these cards are massive. Let's make that trade still. I think our entire objective now should just be to make it so he really can't come back. A mulligan. I kind of dig that. It's pretty good with the parachute, right? Double Breath of the Infinite. Can do something. We can't play the Twin Tyrant if you do that, though. Double Breath is probably fine here. And then the 6/6. Boom. It's really sweet how it's just AoE, but only for your opponent's side. It's one of the cards that doesn't really matter if you have a dragon or not, because if you don't have a dragon, you're usually going to be behind on board and not really care whether or not you have, you know, the damage hitting your side or not. Good stuff. GG's.